Yeah, this is SDG&E, Alert California, UC San Diego. And here are the cameras up in, where is this? Let's see, it is, so it's today at 4:38 p.m. I'm going to scroll this back a little bit. And I'll show you on the map. This is up by the Santa Monica, Los Angeles area. Here's Topanga Canyon. That's what we just saw. Topanga Canyon. So here's a list of some of the fires in the Los Angeles area, and looking specifically at the Palisades fire here. Starting on January 7th at 10:38 a.m., 20,000 acres have burned so far, and they only have it 8% contained. And as of January 10th, that's today, at 11:55 a.m., only 8% contained. So here's some of the local news. Palisades fire devastates LA County, jumps in size as winds batter Southern California. It is by Marissa Winsky, Matthew Rodriguez, all these other people. January 10th. Now this article starts out, it says, the Los Angeles Fire Department said the Palisades fire started Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Now this is weird. They give the address 1190. There's your 911 backwards. So 1190 North Piedra Morada Drive. So here's that address on Google Maps. In 2023 of December, there's people walking by. Here's the house. So what I find a little interesting in here is when you zoom in, look how it has this spiral, or what's that called? So it's the only house in the area that has that metal steeple thing on top. And it's interesting how this light thing here kind of blocks the view of this steeple. So when I look at that address, the 1190, there's your 911 backwards, Piedra Morada Drive. It's a couple anagrams, pro-rated drama, and a armed raid drop. I thought was kind of funny. Okay, so here's an interesting letter I found also. Department of State, Washington, December 7th, 1996. Letter of submittal. President, the White House. I can leave this link, but on page 7, it says, the protocol on prohibitions or restrictions on the use of incendiary weapons adopted at Geneva on October 10th, 1980, Protocol 3, or the Incendiary Weapons Protocol. And I'll leave this document on the protocols of the 1980 Conventional Weapons Convention. And scrolling down, January 7th, 1997, it says protocols were read the first time and together with the accompanying papers referred to the Committee of Foreign Relations and ordered to be printed for the use of the Senate. I'm skipping, sorry about this, but again, regarding this address where they said that the fire started, there it is in the red, and right next to it, well not next to it, but Skull Rock, they happen to have that in the map. Okay, so on page 4 out of 79, I'm going to read this one part, hang on, regarding the protocols. The second of these protocols, the protocol on incendiary weapons, is a part of the original convention, but was not sent to the Senate for advice and consent with the other 1980 protocols in 1994 because of concerns about the acceptability of the protocol from a military point of view. Incendiary weapons have significant potential military value, particularly with respect to flammable military targets that cannot so readily be destroyed with conventional explosives. At the same time, these weapons can be misused in a manner that could cause heavy civilian casualties. In particular, the protocol prohibits the use of air-delivered incendiary weapons against targets located in a city, town, village, or other concentration of civilians, a practice that caused very heavy civilian casualties in past conflicts. And this says the executive branch has given very careful study to the incendiary protocol and has developed a reservation that would, in our view, make it acceptable from a broader national security perspective. This proposed reservation, the text of which appears in the report of the Department of State, would reserve the right to use incendiaries against military objectives located in concentrations of civilians where it is judged that such use would cause fewer casualties and less collateral damage than alternative weapons. I find that kind of interesting. And this guy here, regarding the Department of State, Anthony Blinken, look at some of the interviews he does under the Council of Foreign Relations. Yeah, they're your friend. Department of State. The Secretary of State, appointed by the President with advice and consent of the Senate, is the President's chief foreign affairs advisor. So I'm just going to read part of this part again. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but the executive branch has given very careful study to the incendiary protocols and has developed a reservation that would, in our view, make it acceptable from a broader national security perspective. So this was written by Bill Clinton. So we should look at the Protocol on Prohibitions or Restrictions on the Use of Incendiary Weapons adopted at Geneva on October 10th, 1980. We should go look at that. So a letter that we could write to the governor and the Attorney General's name or Department of State. Give your name, domiciled in California, hereby issue this notice of liability to the state of California and its respective officials, including any involved governmental or military agencies, due to the unlawful use of incendiary devices or directed energy weapons, that's DEWs, in the specific areas of Los Angeles, you have to give the specific areas, causing extensive damage to private homes, property, personal possessions, animals, and tragically resulting in the injury and death of individuals, including loved ones. And then you give the description of what happened to you on that date, stating that the actions resulted in destruction of private home, personal property, serious injuries or deaths of people, including pets and animal or family members, emotional, psychological harm to affected people living there. Remember the alarms that went off for people who didn't really need to evacuate. Loss of irreplaceable personal and family possessions. And according to the California Constitution too, these acts appear to be in violation of constitutional protections, international human rights, and U.S. and California law, including but not limited to U.S. Constitution, the 5th and 14th Amendment, which guarantees due process and protection from excessive harm or cruel and unusual punishment. That's for them to follow. Those are their protocols, their statutes. The California Constitution, Article 1, Section 7, which protects due process, and Section 17, which prohibits cruel and unusual punishment, and international law, provisions under international human rights laws that protect civilians from harm during peacetime. I guess we're not really ever at peace though here with our government. So their legal violations would be the violations of constitutional rights, specifically the right to life, liberty, and freedom from unreasonable government actions and protection from cruel and unusual punishment. Potential war crimes or crimes against humanity under international law, depending on the incident and scale of the attack, and a breach of civil liability under California law for wrongful destruction of property and personal injury. You can write and include, consequences of states' actions as a direct result of the use of incendiary devices or DEWs, direct energy weapons, I, along with many other affected individuals, have suffered significant harm, including loss of personal property and homes, physical harm, injury, or death of family members and pets, emotional trauma and distress caused by the sudden destruction and loss. And then you could demand action, including formal acknowledgement, compensation, a public investigation, immediate cessation of these actions against the people, and accountability. So, accountability for any government officials, military personnel, or contractors who authorized or carried out these actions. And then you request a response from them, and you give them 30 days at the most. I wouldn't give them longer than that. So isn't that crazy? This proposed reservation, the text of which appears in the report of the Department of State, would reserve the right to use incendiaries against military objectives located in concentrations of civilians, or the people, where it is judged that such use would cause fewer casualties and less collateral damage than alternative weapons. That is crazy. And look at here, I went to visit the U.S. Department of State's website, and look at this, welcome to the new state.gov. So the new state, they have a new, it says people from around the world rely on state.gov as a primary resource of information. And then you scroll down a little bit and it says this short video walks you through the changes, and the video talks about all these people supporting AI. It's all about supporting AI. There's your 19 for you. 1-9 is AI. Starting October 23rd through November, they scroll through all these people who are pro-AI. There's Kamala, whatever. And he also, here's Biden, AI for all. Unify all of us, all SDGs. So here's your SDGs. There's Sustainable Development Goals. 17, there's your number 17 coming along. And one of those is, remember, is get rid of all the carbon, right? Oh my gosh. So here's just some of their goals. You can look it up. No property. Oh, not no property. It says no poverty. Well, if you get rid of people and burn them out, then you don't have any poverty because no one's around to be poor. Anyhow, they have all these zero hunger. If people are gone, they're not hungry anymore, because when you're dead, you don't eat. Here's all their peace, justice, and strong institutions. Oh yeah, just what we need. More corporations. What is wrong with my phone? Right, group 2, good health and well-being, as they feed you GMOs and spray pesticides all over you and in the air and stuff. Skipping way back to group 6, climate action. Notice the eyeball there? Yeah, we're all being watched. Life below the water, life on land. Yeah, good luck living your life on land when they're burning the crap out of where you live. And Trump is also a little bit of a concern coming in too. I mean, he's totally into AI. Totally into AI. And here they are laughing it up at Jimmy Carter's funeral. And Trump had just mentioned about Obama and how he, this is what he said, it's the president, Trump raised the issue of President Barack Obama's birth certificate again, questioning its authenticity. But I guess they made up, and here they are chuckling during his Jimmy Carter's funeral. And here's also just some little things I capture. I'm not even finished capturing it all, but I thought this is important, some things that he said. Here's Trump with his purple tie. But it's an honor to have such a great investor. He's talking about some guy, I can't remember who it was. I'll go back and look. But so it's an honor to have such a great investor investing in our country, because now you owe him because he's put a lot of money into your country. And the investment will support massive new data centers across the Midwest. Do you know what those are? Data centers? Yeah, that's like the NSA. So Donald Trump, full speech at Mar-a-Lago ahead of inauguration. Yeah, he's already acting like he's the president. He hasn't even taken over yet. Okay, so he said that he's here to honor the most respected business leaders in the Middle East, indeed the world. He's the founder of the chairman of Damak Properties, Hussein Sajwani. So he's going to be investing at least 20 billion over a very short period of time. So do you think that that makes us obligated to this guy if he's an investor of 20 billion? So 20 billion into the United States, not the United States of America. He's talking about in the United States. That's the corporation, the LLC. So he just stated that he said that he was going to invest all that because he was inspired by the election. I can't tell you a lot of people. Let's see, you saw from last week. From 100 to 200 billion. Well, that's quite a span there. So he said some are kind of loud about their investments and some are kind of quiet and they don't want people to know. But it's an honor to have such a great investor. Isn't that funny? The word investor has the same numerical value in Jewish gematria as DJ Trump, which is 1074. And look at this, is kind of funny too. Donald J. Trump, DJ Trump, is also 102 in simple gematria. Flip that around, that's 201, like Event 201, like Operation Warp Speed. So I think I know now where the global warming came in. Here's your data center cooling solutions with fiber optic cables, energy efficiency, and high performance. Data centers are at the heart of today's digital world and require high performance infrastructures to manage the large data flows. These infrastructures generate significant amounts of heat due to intensely operating servers and equipment. Managing this heat is critical for the efficient operation and security of data centers. Fiber optic cables offer great advantages in terms of data transmission while also providing energy efficiency with data center cooling solutions. That's great. Okay, so why is cooling data centers important? Let's see, they produce a large amount of heat during the process. Failure to manage this heat could lead to equipment overheating, decreased performance, and even hardware failures. There goes all your information. Therefore, cooling solutions in data centers play a vital role in ensuring the safe and efficient operation end of hardware. So perhaps fiber optic is a better solution for cooling than that of copper. Alright, so the investment will support massive new data centers across the Midwest. Here it talks about the Sun Belt area, so keeping America on the cutting edge of technology and artificial intelligence. So he's all for AI, just remember that. So here's the Sun Belt region right here, U.S. Sun Belt region. North Carolina, Tennessee, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, New Mexico, Arizona, and California and Nevada. Okay, so anyhow, back to the very beginning. I just thought that these were sort of interesting maps. These are all maps where you are basically in real time being videotaped. I thought were kind of interesting. Look at all those cameras they've got, but you can click on these. Let's see if we can find somewhere, like if you can look on the map here, you can go look. Oh. I find it interesting too that UC San Diego has got his little cameras all the way up the coast. I just find that very interesting with Alert California. Here's another update at 5:13. Let's see if we can play it. It's a 15-minute. I just find that kind of interesting. But I don't see any houses burning, so it's kind of weird. But I do know personally someone who has lost their house, so. Alright. That's enough. Sorry about the sporadic just talk. Okay, bye. Bye, you guys.